continuing a conversation that we started last week with Diana Young, the publisher or the author of Muted Gray, the book that's been nominated as Christian Small Publisher Book of the Year. That's a pretty significant distinction. And first, before we go any farther, Diana, share with our viewers your website and where they can go, because they need to vote. That's how the determination is made, if you win or you don't.
At this point, yes. At this point, the book is, it's on the website for Christian Small Publishers Association, and people can go online and they can vote. They can select from all the different books that have been nominated. And so yes, we have until March 31st to place votes for that. At this point, Muted Gray is available online as an ebook for just 99 cents, and we're doing that to encourage people to read the book and then vote. And it is a short read. Muted Gray is it's a quick read. It has it'll pull you in. And
one of the reviews that you mentioned to me that I thought was particularly compelling was someone who is definitely pro-choice, pro-abortion. Tell us what that review said. I was so thrilled when she told me that she had read my book, and I didn't really know. You know, I have a lot of friends that I just maybe sometimes assume are pro-life, and she told me, and I wondered when she asked if she could read my book. I said, well, sure, you're welcome. This was before the book was even released, and I said, you're welcome. And in my mind, I thought, if there was a person who was pro-choice, I would about bet my life that she was. She told me after she read it, she said, Diana, I read your book. I was so uncomfortable. That book made me so uncomfortable. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I thought, yes, that's exactly my intent. That's what I intended for the book to do. But basically, here's what she wrote. She said, I was left pondering her truth and the passion that underlies it. A disturbing and thought-provoking book that just may challenge an ethical stance or two of the reader. It certainly made me revisit long-standing and comfortable opinions and kept me thinking long after the final page. That's pretty powerful testimony of the impact of your book, Diana.
Well, and a big part of Muted Gray is that I never intended for it to sound preachy. I never intended for it to sound like I or anybody saying, you're wrong. Because people that have a pro-life, or excuse me, a pro-choice stance, I think far too often, sadly, are people who've had an abortion, who, if you were to run the statistics, the number of people who've had an abortion, do they believe that it's right or wrong? Deep down, ethically, morally, they believe that it's wrong. And yet, I think more often than not, the only way that people can justify their actions is to maintain that pro-choice stance. And I think the biggest problem with abortion today is that so many people agree to disagree. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to offend people. You know, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. I feel very strongly that those babies, given the opportunity to speak their mind, would not agree to disagree. And we need to stop. There's too much political correctness going on, and it's abhorrent. And we need to give the children their voice. And that's a big part. As I mentioned, there's a lot of symbolism in Muted Gray. The title is very symbolic because one of the babies who's about to be aborted in the book, her name is Gray. And she's mute because she's unable to speak on her own behalf. And
now you're giving away part of the book here.
I know. I'm not giving away too much. And hopefully by now a lot of people have read it, and hopefully at this point we can encourage you just to go online and vote for it to achieve that status of Book of the Year. And the big reason for that is that, you know, the more people that we can bring awareness about this book to, the more that hopefully you can share the book with other people. We're trying to make it very affordable for people that you can share it with others. Initially, I never wanted to promote it to people who are already pro-life, because I want to get it in the hands of people who are pro-choice. But I had a gal tell me a while back a book club was reading it, and they invited me to join them for their book club. And I told her just that I never intended so much for pro-life people to read it. And she said, no, Diana, people like us need to read it because it's so easy for us to forget what's going on. And she said, I'm fired up now. I'm angry. I want to change things. I want to make a difference. So as much as pro-life people need to read it, especially those people that are pro-choice, those people that are on the fence, we need to get it in their hands. And the best way we can do that is to gain more exposure and more accolades for it. So.
Well, go to Diane's website. It's mutedgray.com. You can buy the book there for 99 cents. You can vote, and you'll agree with one of the reviews which described it as mind-altering. It will challenge you.